All right, guys, what is going on? It's early in the morning, and I want to do a quick reaction to the latest upload from Doc Trey 81. So, Doc Trey 81, he's actually learned his lesson from the last time there was a partner showcase when he kept arguing with me and he kept arguing with other people, saying that there was going to be a kick-ass, showing or whatever in the last partner showcase. Not the one that just aired yesterday morning, but the one from many months ago that people were like, what the fuck? Like when it was revealed that it was only going to be a 25-minute partner showcase, I'm like, 25-minute partner showcase? That is freaking lame. I want a general direct. I want first party games. And I got into an argument with Doc Trey 81 on his own YouTube channel, and he kept trying to say, what are you talking about? There's going to be, they're about to announce all kinds of great games. I'm like what? Like just a few third-party ports, games that already exist? I don't give a shit about that. But he thought that there was going to be a megaton announcement in that 25-minute partner showcase back then. And I think the main reason was because that fool beat 'em ups, he uploaded a stupid video lying his ass off and saying there was going to be all these. I never watched that video because I avoid those type of stupid videos. I get sick and tired of people, for one, spoiling things, or just making up a bunch of shit, making up rumors and everything like that. So prediction videos, prediction videos are one thing, but just making up a bunch of shit, lying and making stuff up out of the blue just to try to generate as much engagement and views on your channel. And yeah, and also just spoiling shit. And I hate when people spoil things. I don't want to be spoiled. I want Nintendo to, surprise us. So I get sick and tired of these losers who always want to spoil everything because they care more about their YouTube channel. It's like, you care so much about your YouTube channel, why don't you, there's much more you could talk about. Why don't you go after Nintendo haters if you care so much about your YouTube channel? Do that instead of just being one of these annoying people who just spoils everything. But regardless, nevertheless, Doc Trey 81, apparently he's learned from his mistake from last time, and he's not really too mad about this latest presentation that we had gotten. A lot of people are acting like this presentation was, well, not really a lot of people. I think it's only Landon from Nintendo Land is like acting like, oh wow, this was so terrible, this was so bad. And it's like, exactly what would have they shown to make this good for you? Because they literally ended with 3 games coming from Bethesda. All right, those were 3 big reveals. We saw Monster Hunter 3, like we saw 2 third-party exclusives. In the other partner showcase that we got many months ago, we didn't get any of that. We didn't get a damn third-party exclusive. We didn't get like a really big popular AAA game come over from Bethesda or anyone like that. We didn't get nothing worth talking about besides that Chronos game. And that Chronos game, which is like a Dead Space ripoff, that game is on all consoles, so I don't care. So Landon, on Nintendo Land, he's just being stupid again. He's just being a dumbass, and he made this claim on his video, his YouTube channel, that usually I'm the one who's negative, but I'm seeing so many people who are just saying this was the worst direct ever. I'm like, that's how bad it was. I'm like, no, you're a fucking idiot. You're just talking out of your ass again because you're a grifter, and that's it. Anyways, let's listen to what Doc Trey 81 has to say about all this. The third-party Nintendo fan, the guy who's a Nintendo fan, but he really seems to be only excited about third-party games.
What it do, bruh? Talking to Town Nintendo, Doc Trey still holding it down, still make the best games, and you know this, bro. It's true. You don't like it? You can have that secret. Alright, so we have to talk about this Nintendo Partner Direct. So this morning, Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct, but it was focused solely on third parties, and it was pretty interesting. One of the interesting things about it, at least from my standpoint, was the fact that
the majority of the larger games shown during this direct just happen to be games that I told you guys would come to the Switch 2. Like we have showcase was Indiana Jones on the Switch 2. If you guys remember, I was actually the first person to tell you guys Indiana Jones and the Great Circle would come to the Switch 2. The new Turok was officially announced for the Nintendo Switch 2. Like I told you guys, that game was coming to the Switch 2 back in 2024. We have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was shown with the official date for the game. It's actually coming out very soon. What else? There was a couple games. But anyway, so what they showed on this direct, there were a lot of games that were already announced. There was games that were rumored. There was a few surprises here and there, but for the most part, I guess people would say that a lot of the games that they were expecting to be shown or officially announced for the first time were absent at this show. And there's something that people need to realize what Nintendo is doing strategically with the Switch 2. And I mentioned this before. And that's one of the reasons why learning my lesson from the last time when there was a partner direct.
Yep.
And I thought that all these games that I knew were coming out or was hearing about that was coming out or rumored to come out, that they were all going to just be this big blowout and announce all these games then and announce hardly any of those games. That told me right there, one, to not do prediction videos of what games I thought were going to be there, because even the games that I know are coming to the system, the way Nintendo's handling things, there's no way to know if those games are going to actually be there. And like we've seen what just actually happened with Nate the Hate. Yes, his sources are 100%, but when it comes to trying to guess what games are going to be at an event, it's very hard to do. Even if these games have even been rated from the ESRB or PEGI and stuff like that right before the event, we've even seen that those games, some of those games didn't even get shown at this direct. Now, the reason for that is that, and it's something that I mentioned last year, Nintendo is being strategic with their releases of these third-party games. And they're doing this on purpose because they want all of these major games to have great sales. So they're not going to announce all these games all at once, because if you do that, people will already in their brain and set aside, oh, I can't buy this because I'm waiting for this. This is going to come out in a few months, or this is going to come out at the end of the year. I got to make sure I have money for this. The way that they are announcing and placing these games so that you don't know what's coming next is that you're focusing on what they want you to focus on right now. And
this is a pretty good point that he is making right here. And I do agree with that. Like, yeah, they have to, I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer. Yeah, they should be spacing these games and only showing them, you know, it does, like, it's kind of like when we go back to when they revealed that they were going to give us that 45-minute presentation hosted by Masahiro Sakurai over Kirby Air Riders. When you guys remember that, they made that announcement on Twitter, I believe, and you had stupid-ass Metroid fanboys crying about it. And it's like, what the fuck's your problem, you fucking idiot? What does this have to do with Metroid Prime 4? You know? They're announcing that they're going to show us more gameplay of Kirby Air Riders, and you're fucking crying about it. Like Rob from Rule of Two Review, he was crying about it like a bitch and just being a fucking shitty-ass idiot. But so many stupid people are complaining about that, and it's like, why the hell would they just, you know... First of all, we now know that there's a reason why they didn't give us a dedicated direct for Metroid Prime 4. It's because there was really nothing to show us. But another reason they weren't doing that at that time was because it didn't make sense to do that, because they had Kirby Air Riders coming up next in November. that was a game that they wanted us to focus on, and so they didn't really show us much of Metroid Prime 4, except for a little bit, you know, in the last Nintendo last general Nintendo Direct is when they showed us some good amount of footage of that game. But they were not going to just, you know, promote the hell out of that game, give us a huge Direct, and it's like, we still haven't gotten Kirby Air Riders yet. They wanted us to see more of Kirby Air Riders first and get us hyped for that game, and then once that game was out there for people to buy, then start, you know, marketing Metroid Prime 4. And that's kind of how they did it. Now, they didn't give us a whole lot. They didn't give us like a 45-minute or a 1-hour Nintendo Direct for Metroid Prime 4, because what the hell was there to even show off? There wasn't all these, you know, there's no multiplayer. There's not a bunch of fun in-game content or whatever. There's just one single-player campaign. And what they did to try to add a replay value, which is really stupid, all they did was they made it to where you got to scan every single thing in the game, and you have to get a great amount of whatever those green crystals are. You have to get a bunch of those, and then you would get to see the true ending. Something really stupid like that. And it's like, I hate that's a very dumb way to get people to play a campaign again, you know? That's a very stupid way of doing that. That shit sucks. When you look at Kirby Air Riders and their campaign, the road trip mode, it's way better, because you get the final ending, or you get the true ending by going back through it, playing it again, and pretty much all you have to do is just unlock every single machine in the game. And to do that, you take different routes that you never took before. You take different paths. So you end up finding new things. You end up encountering new boss fights. So that's actually a cool way of making people play through a campaign a second time or a third time even. Not this bullshit of, oh, well, you didn't scan everything and you didn't get all the crystals or whatever and shit, so you gotta do it again. It's like, fuck you, that's boring. Anyways, I'm kind of going off topic, but yeah, that's a smarter way of, you know, that's a smarter way of getting people, like, you know, promoting video games, showing off video games. You don't just, you know, have a Metroid Prime 4 General Direct right before Kirby Air Riders comes out. That wouldn't make any sense, would it? It wouldn't make any sense at all to do that. So people on the internet, they're just really stupid, and all they could say was, well, you know, we've known about Metroid Prime 4 for, you know, 8 years now, so why are we seeing a Direct for Kirby Air Riders before Metroid Prime 4? And all we want is the release date. Just stupid shit, you know, really stupid shit. So it made me really despise Metroid fans, and I still do. Especially if you call yourself a Metroid fan and you didn't buy Metroid Prime 4 just because, oh, there's NPCs that are talking. You know, it's like, okay, you're a piece of shit. You don't deserve any good games, none whatsoever. Anyways, yeah, he made a good point here, so let's continue listening to him.
When they're doing that, it's gonna make people buy more games and not focus so much on what's coming and focus more on what's presented to them in the near future. Because if you notice, the large majority of the games that they showed are coming out soon. Some of these games come out next week. Some of these games came out today. Like, that's their strategy. So I've seen a lot of people online, they're like, where's Call of Duty? Well, where's this game? Where's this game, Trey? They're coming. But Nintendo is being selective on what games they announce at certain times.
It's also worth mentioning that Nintendo cares way more about their first-party games doing very well. I don't know if he ever mentions that in this video, but that's the most important thing, all right, is the first-party games dominate the charts, not, you know, flooding the console with third-party games the way PlayStation does, and those are the games that sell the most on their system. It's Call of Duty, Madden, FIFA, even WWE 2K. Like the WWE games, those shitty WWE games are usually sell the best on PlayStation consoles. Yeah, I don't think Nintendo wants that at all whatsoever. I don't want that at all. So that's something worth mentioning, is that the first party games are always going to be more important than the third party games. And if I'm being honest with you, I could care less about these third party games, and I'm glad Nintendo's not just opening the floodgates, all right? And just having a bunch of these damn things come out all at once. Nintendo is only grabbing the third-party games that I guess matter, in the sense that these are third-party games that people want so much they're willing to waste money on a stupid PlayStation console just to play them. But these same people don't even play any of the first-party garbage that PlayStation has. So because of that, I think Nintendo's just saying, all right, we're going to get these games now, and there you go. You no longer have to buy that shitty-ass PlayStation. Because I think there's way more people who own a Nintendo console right now. That's a fact. There's way more people who own a Nintendo Switch than a PlayStation 5, than a PlayStation 4. So these are people who, clearly, they really value Nintendo's first-party games. The only reason they have a PlayStation 5 is just to play some of those third-party games that aren't available on the Switch. Well, that's about to change now. That's about to change now because Nintendo is getting those games. So it's all about sending like that message, like, hey, we're getting those games, but we're not getting them all right now, all at once. All right, we'll get a few of them. Focus on the first party games. I think that's what Nintendo is trying to do. They're just letting you know that they are getting those games. You don't have to buy a PlayStation 5 to play those games, but in the meantime, worry more about these awesome first party games that are coming out, and just a few sprinkled in third party games along with it, and you'll eventually get those other third party games that you so desire. That seems to be what Nintendo is doing right now, and I think that's really smart. I think that's very smart.
Working with these third parties to do this. Now, in terms of games like say a Call of Duty or something like that, or games that people were expecting to be at this direct that weren't announced, you got to remember something. So this was a third party direct, right? Third party focus. So people were expecting all the big third party games that come out this year to all be announced at this direct. But there's one thing that you guys are forgetting here. Nintendo will have a general direct in the very near future. Now, it's probably not going to be this month, but like I said on Twitter a couple weeks ago, people were whining about this being a partner direct. Expect a direct either next month or the following month. So expect a general direct in either March or April, right? Now, what's one thing that general directs always have?
First party games.
Third party game announcements. There has never, ever, ever, ever been a general direct that didn't have third party game announcements.
And that should change, actually. I kind of wish there would be a general direct where it's just first party games. That's one thing I don't understand about them. It makes way more fucking sense to have a huge general direct where they're just giving us a bunch of first party games exclusives. Third party exclusives is one thing. All right, that's fine as long as the game is exclusive. So I wish that would change, because it's so stupid to me. It's like, oh yeah, here's this awesome console. Here are reasons to get this console over the competition, and then they show us a third party game that's already on the other systems. I really wish that they would just have a general direct that only showcases first party games and third party exclusives. So I says that, what's the one thing that is always in a general direct? It's like, that would be first party games, dude. And has there ever been a general direct that shows third party but no first party? But I mean, yeah, that's true too, that there's always been a third party game shown in general direct. But I hope that changes, and I hope the next general direct, and this is hopium on my part, but I hope that the next general direct doesn't show us any third party games unless they're third party exclusives, unless it's like a port of like Command and Conquer and some other, exclusive game like that. I really hope it's just going to be nothing but first party exclusives and exclusives in general. So that's something that needs to change. But right now what he's doing is he's basically saying, oh, I guarantee you we're going to see those big games come to this next general direct. Fuck that. I don't care to see Call of Duty, Halo. What else? Well, what's another one? Duskbloods is the only one I would care to see because that's an exclusive to the Switch too. So yeah, I would like to see the Duskbloods, but other than that, I'm not interested in seeing, multiplats. I'm not interested in seeing games that are already out and readily available on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox, because that's not really a good selling point for the console. A selling point is a first-party exclusive. So that being said, yeah, hopefully the next general direct is going to be heavily first-party focus, and hopefully there won't be any third-party or multiplats shown. Hopefully it's just going to be third-party exclusives, and that's it. Anyways, that's going to be it for this reaction video. It looks like Doc Dre is still hang up on third-party games, and he needs to get over that already, and he needs to just get with the program and only care about first-party games and just want more exclusive from Nintendo. So that being said, I will talk to you guys. You all have a good one. Take care.